Season 1 of Ginny and Georgia begins with 30-year-old single mother Georgia Miller moving to the new town of Wellsbury, Massachusetts, with her 15-year-old daughter Ginny and her 9-year-old son Austin. Georgia has had a history of abuse and bad relationships, making her a teen mom who constantly throws herself into new relationships and new towns for fresh starts. This latest move was due to the death of Georgia's most recent husband, Kenny. Georgia poisoned him after catching him inappropriately touching Ginny, framing his death as a heart attack. Upon their arrival in Wellsbury, Ginny gets a job at a local cafe, run by a man named Joe. Unbeknownst to Joe, Georgia was actually a girl he had briefly met as a teenager and had developed a crush on. Ginny quickly becomes friends with her new classmate and neighbor Max, and develops a crush on Max's twin brother Marcus. And although Ginny begins a relationship with fellow classmate Hunter, and Marcus has a girlfriend of his own named Padma, the two begin a secret relationship, with Marcus eventually taking her virginity. Due to her mother's more carefree attitude, the teenage Ginny is forced to be the responsible one in their relationship. Ginny also has to deal with prejudices from being mixed race, leading to her struggling with identity issues. Meanwhile, Georgia struggles to fit in with the other moms in town, and her relationship with Ginny becomes further strained. Georgia teaches her new friend Ellen, mother to Max and Marcus, about how young people act and the various ways parents can keep better tabs on their kids. Georgia also gets a job working for Mayor Paul Randolph, utilizing her charms to help him accomplish his various plans and causes for the town. Although Georgia begins using her new position to steal money from the town, she also begins to fall in love with Paul. As the two take their relationship public, Georgia's reckless behavior begins to negatively impact Paul's campaign for re-election. When Paul asks Georgia to not accompany him to a fundraising event while public resentment toward her dies down, a frustrated Georgia turns to her ex Zion, Ginny's father, for comfort. To make things even more complicated for the Miller family, their lives could be turned upside down by private investigator Gabriel Cordova. As Gabriel looks further into the death of Kenny, he discovers that Georgia's real name was Mary, and there were many other secrets that Georgia wouldn't want Gabriel to uncover. Not only was she responsible for Kenny's death, but she had also shot her own stepfather for abusing her, and sent Austin's father to prison after framing him for embezzlement. Gabriel manages to track down Georgia's long-lost sister Maddie, paying her to come to Wellsbury to gain intel on Georgia. Georgia had previously claimed to be an only child, having felt remorse for abandoning Maddie as a child, leaving her with their abusive parents. Upon discovering that Georgia lied about her family, Ginny begins growing more suspicious and bitter toward her mother. Everything comes to a head in the season finale. Max discovers that Ginny slept with her twin brother Marcus, fracturing their friend group. Hunter finds out about the affair and breaks up with Ginny. Zion breaks things off with Georgia after realizing how much she truly loved Paul, who then proposes to her. Joe finally remembers that Georgia is his teenage crush, but hides his true feelings for her upon learning of her new engagement. Austin discovers that the letters he had been writing to his imprisoned father were never actually sent by Georgia, so Ginny sends them instead, knowing Austin deserved a relationship with his father. As the season comes to a close, Paul is re-elected as mayor. During his celebration with Georgia, Ginny is confronted by Gabriel, who warns her that Georgia was dangerous. Ginny, finally realizing that her mother had murdered Kenny to protect her, lies to Gabriel to protect her mother. Despite this, Ginny and Austin pack up their bags and depart Wellsbury to leave behind all of the drama the Miller family had created in their wake. Gabriel realizes that Kenny's body is missing, and it's revealed that Georgia placed his ashes in Paul's celebratory fireworks. Although Georgia had successfully disposed of Kenny's body, Gabriel's investigation isn't quite over, as he receives a phone call informing him that another of Georgia's ex-husbands was missing, and it was only a matter of time before the private investigator discovers that Georgia had murdered him too.